Hey, welcome to Studio Classroom on the air. Your English will improve today. Do you believe it? Because I do. My name is Gabe. I'm one of your hosts here at Studio Classroom. You know, several years ago, I went to the Philippines to Boracay. It's a favorite for a lot of tourists, Changtandao. And when I got there, my friends and I saw some fire dancers every single night on the beach. There were people kind of doing performances or different shows with fireballs. Do you like that kind of show? What kind of show do you like? There are so many different kinds of performances out there. The title of today's lesson is Cirque du Soleil. Cirque du Soleil may have fire dancers or not. What is certain is that the performers in any and all Cirque du Soleil shows are the best of the best at what they do. Now, the word cirque that you see there, it might make you think of circus, and it should. But what makes Cirque du Soleil different from traditional circuses? That's what today's lesson is all about. Let's go.
Cirque du Soleil, the circus with a story. Have you ever visited the circus? Traditionally, a circus is a show with acrobatic and animal acts. Circuses used to travel around and put on big shows. However, audiences changed, and circuses no longer drew large crowds. But in 1984, a new kind of circus began to capture audience attention. Cirque du Soleil, a circus group from Montreal, Canada, has reimagined circuses for modern audiences. Cirque du Soleil performs all over the world. Unlike typical circuses, Cirque du Soleil focuses on telling stories rather than just showing off animals and human talent.
Hi everyone, I'm Michelle. Welcome to today's Language Lab. 这篇文章的第一个重点，我们看 acrobatic 这个形容词。acrobatic 是指特技的，例如 It took years of training to be able to do these stunning acrobatic moves. 必须经过多年的训练才能够做到这些惊人的特技动作。或者是 The audience was fascinated by the young boy's acrobatic abilities. 这个小男孩特技表演的能力让观众们感到着迷。如果去到字尾的 ic acrobat 是一个名词，意思是指特技演员，这时候它的重音就跑到低音节念成 acrobat。例如 The acrobat walked on the tightrope without a safety net. 这位特技演员走高空钢索时没有用安全网。接下来我们看 reimagine 这个动词 re 这个字首再一次的意思， imagine 是指想象，所以 reimagine 是指重新发想或重新定义。例如 The chef created these dishes by reimagining dim sum. 这位主厨重新发想港式点心而创作了这些菜肴。或者是 The fashion designer created this collection by reimagining men's suits. 这位服装设计师透过重新发想男性西服创作了这个系列。或者是 The book helped me reimagine healthy parent-child relationships. 这本书让我对健康的亲子关系有了新的定义。
Thank you very much, Michelle. And what an exciting lesson we have in store for you today. Cirque du Soleil. Now, as you probably guessed, those are not English words. Carolyn, can you tell us a little bit about Cirque du Soleil?
Well, Cirque du Soleil is French, right? This group, as we're going to learn, is from Montreal, Canada. And the name is French, and I believe it means Circus of the Sun.
Circus of the Sun. Interesting. All right. So, speaking of circus, and we read here the circus with a story, let's talk about that word circus. Okay, in Chinese you might call it ma xi tuan. Now, this is a group of entertainers which gives performances usually in a large tent. There are different kinds of entertainers like clowns and acrobats. Traditionally, circuses would also have animals.
And they also traditionally traveled. So, would you want to go see the circus if it comes to town?
Yeah, it depends on how famous that circus was. I don't think I've ever seen a circus in person before, only in movies, like the Greatest Showman, right?
Sure, or Dumbo.
Right, or Dumbo. An excellent cartoon and
New movie.
New movie.
That's right. Well, we read here, have you ever visited the circus? Traditionally, a circus is a show with acrobatic and animal acts.
And before we continue, let's take a look at that word traditionally at the beginning of the sentence. That is, according to tradition, or the way things used to be, or the way things were always done.
Sure, you can also use this in a slightly more fun way. Maybe you have a habit. You could also use traditionally to describe this. For example, traditionally, chocolate chip cookies should be eaten with a glass of cold milk.
Oh, yeah. That's a great way to use that word. Traditionally, so it's not that important that you do it, but that's just the way that people like to do it. Well, of course, traditionally, a circus is a show with acrobatic and animal acts. When I think of acrobatics, I think of people very high up. Perhaps they're on a tightrope or something like that. Circuses used to travel around and put on big shows. However, audiences changed and circuses no longer drew crowds. That means when the audience was changing, people weren't going to see these shows anymore.
Right, they weren't really interested in these acrobatic acts or the animal shows. They wanted something different. So we read on, but in 1984, a new kind of circus began to capture audience attention. And it's important that it's new because audiences wanted something different.
Something different, something new, something that could capture their attention. That phrase, to capture someone's attention, that means to get somebody's attention or to get someone's interest.
Right. For example, as I was walking through the park, live music captured my attention, so I stopped and listened.
All right. Well, I like to do that too. Friends, think of something that gets your attention or it captures your attention. Well, we read here, Cirque du Soleil, a circus group from Montreal, Canada, has reimagined circuses for modern audiences. When you imagine something, of course, you're using your imagination. It takes work to reimagine something. I imagine there was a lot of brainstorming involved.
Sure, and we read on that Cirque du Soleil performs all over the world. Unlike typical circuses, Cirque du Soleil focuses on telling stories rather than just showing off animals and human talent, although they are very talented.
Yes, indeed. I've only seen video clips, but I agree with you there. Well, Carolyn, have you ever heard of a three-ring circus?
I have, but I think we should go to the info cloud to learn more about that.
Hello everyone, welcome to InfoCloud. I want to share some travel tips with you based on my experience this year at the airport during Lunar New Year.
I try not to travel at that time of year as everything is really busy. There are long lines for just about anything that you can think of.
Definitely. This year was no different. It was your typical three-ring circus at the airport. That's to be expected when everyone is trying to fly at the same time.
I like the expression that Joe used. Three-ring circus means that there is a lot of noise and activity going on, to the point where it can be totally confusing.
For people that aren't familiar with three-ring circuses, it's a type of circus performance where the center of the circus is divided into three rings.
Each one of those rings is a different show, and they're all happening at the same time. As you can imagine, that can be confusing.
There's so much going on that you don't know where to look. The days of the three-ring circus may be past, but we still use this expression.
So, what are your travel tips, Joe?
Just one, really. Don't fly during Lunar New Year unless you absolutely have to.
在西方的马戏团里，经常出现一种舞台中央出现3个圈圈，每一个圈圈当中都有不同类型的演出，让你眼花缭乱。这就是 three-ring circus， 字面上是3环马戏团。人们经常用 three-ring circus 来形容一种相当混乱的场景。During Lunar New Year, the airport was a three-ring circus. 在农历过年的时候，机场是非常忙碌混乱的，因为这是大家在这个时候出国度假的时候。Three-ring circus 主要也是在形容一个地方同时间进行很多不同的活动，出现一个极度忙碌的状况。这就是今天的 Info Cloud， 我们下次云端见。
I'd like to buy 2 tickets to Venice, please.
Would you like standard or business class seats? Standard. Business.
How much does it cost per seat?
90 euros for standard and 120 euros for business class. Euro.
Standard, please. What time does the next train leave?
12:45 p.m. However, there are no more standard seats available on that train. The next train after that leaves at 2 p.m.
How long is the train ride?
3 hours and 45 minutes.
Okay, 2 seats for 2 p.m.
Including the 5% tax, your total comes to 189 euros.
Tax. Here is my credit card.
Studio Classroom is on the air.
Welcome back to Studio Classroom. We're learning today with a lesson about Cirque du Soleil. It's a different kind of circus. Actually, it's very different. Cirque du Soleil focuses on telling stories rather than just showing off human talent or animal talents. Let's find out more about what sets Cirque du Soleil apart from traditional circuses in our next section.
Cirque du Soleil. The company eliminated clowns, animals, and over-the-top acrobatic acts. Instead, Cirque du Soleil performers take on character roles in a story. However, Cirque du Soleil isn't an ordinary play or musical. They display incredible human strength throughout their performances. Cirque du Soleil's decision to not include animals in their shows has earned them a positive response. Some people complained that circuses of the past didn't treat animals well. These changes have brought Cirque du Soleil much popularity and success.
OK， 继续我们看 eliminate 这个动词，这个字首有外面的意思，所以 eliminate 就是指去掉或排除。例如 regular exercise and healthy relationships can help eliminate tension in life。规律运动以及健康人际关系有助于消除生活中的压力。或者是 The doctor suggested Ray eliminate caffeinated drinks from his diet to have better sleep quality。为了让 Ray 有更好的睡眠品质，医生建议他在饮食里去除含咖啡因的饮品。Eliminate 也指淘汰，例如 2/3 of the contestants were eliminated on the first round of the game。2/3的参赛者在比赛的第一轮就被淘汰了。最后我们看的是 popularity 这个不可数名词 ，popul 这个字根有人们的意思，所以 popularity 在这里是指流行、普及。或者是被喜爱或受欢迎，例如 The TV sitcom Friends gained enormous popularity in the 90s。六人行这部电视情境喜剧在90年代广受欢迎，或 或者是 Bulletproof Coffee's popularity has been rising among females because of its weight loss claims. 防弹咖啡因为号称有助减肥，而在女性中越来越受到欢迎。如果去到字尾的 ity，popular 是指受欢迎的，或者是受人喜爱的。如果要说明在哪些对象中受欢迎，是用 with 或者是 among 这个介系词。例如 ，Twitter is quite popular with teenagers。推特在青少年当中非常受到欢迎。And now let's get back to our teachers.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Well, at the beginning of this section, we're continuing to read or learn about how Cirque du Soleil is different from traditional circuses. And we read the company eliminated clowns, animals, and over-the-top acrobatic acts. Well, Carolyn, how do you think those clowns felt? They were being eliminated, taken out of the show.
Oh, I'm sure that they were not very pleased with this, but a lot of people aren't entertained by clowns anymore. They need something more to capture their attention, and so they got rid of the clowns, the animals, and the over-the-top acts.
Yeah, you know what? I think some movies have not helped clowns, right? Like It. It has made people scared of clowns. And for whatever reason, well, for some reasons, clowns were eliminated from Cirque du Soleil, and they were very intentional about that. But there's another phrase here in this sentence, 3 words put together, over the top, okay? This is too extreme, needing a lot of attention or detail, perhaps in an uncontrollable way. You know, I've heard people say in Chinese, 太over了. Well, that's what this phrase means. It's over the top.
It's over the top, and maybe you watched a movie and you thought it was really good, but you didn't really like one of the actors' performances. It was a little bit over the top. It was too much.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they were trying too hard or being too dramatic, and it didn't seem real. That's a great example of an over-the-top performance. Okay, well, instead, Cirque du Soleil performers take on character roles in a story. And I think they're very smart to go with the idea of telling a story throughout time. All throughout history, people have been captivated by stories. It captures people's attention.
It sure does. And I want to look a little bit at 2 words in this sentence to take on. They take on character roles.
That's right. Here it means they develop a certain character or appearance of something.
But you can take on many different kinds of things. For example, when he became a father, he took on many new responsibilities.
Exactly. That's a great example. So what kinds of responsibilities have you had to take on recently, friends? However, Cirque du Soleil isn't an ordinary play or musical. There's nothing ordinary about it. It's extraordinary. They display incredible human strength throughout their performances. Incredible. That's a synonym for amazing or great, right? Literally, it means really hard to believe.
Sure, and we see a picture here of some incredible human strength. It's pretty hard to believe that they're able to do this.
Yeah, Carolyn, maybe we could recreate that here in the studio. You think we can?
I am not that strong, Gabe.
Yeah, that takes an incredible amount of strength.
Yes, it does. And so you can use this word incredible to describe something that you think is amazing or hard to believe. For example, well, I met this lady the other day and I found out that she's an incredible pilot.
Interesting. An incredible or amazing pilot. Well, we read on here, Cirque du Soleil's decision to not include animals in their shows has earned them a positive response. Some people complained that circuses of the past didn't treat animals well. These changes have brought Cirque du Soleil much popularity and success. So they're being humane with animals.
Well, something that I always enjoy and find very popular is the SC Challenge. Are you excited, friends? It's time for the SC Challenge. Let's meet our contestants today and see how they do with these questions.
Hey everyone, I'm Pauline, back again in the studio with my husband. Last time I regained my pride and won the SC Challenge, but we'll see how we do today. Hopefully, I come out victorious.
Hello everyone. I don't know if you remember, but last time I introduced you to an English phrase. This time I'd like to make up a new phrase of my own. The game isn't over until I win.
Yeah, not sure that's how that goes, but let's see our first question for today and see how you do. Where did Cirque du Soleil begin? A, Canada. B, the USA. C, France. Or D, the UK? Pauline?
I think it's France.
France is an excellent guess since the name is French, but not the correct answer. Josh?
I'm going to have to guess on this one, so I'm going to say the UK.
The UK is close to France, but also not the correct answer.
The US.
The US is also incorrect. Josh, there's one left.
Well, you know, those poor Canadians always feel like they're last, so let's just go with Canada.
Oh, poor Canada. Yes, Cirque du Soleil is from Montreal, Canada. The answer is A. All right, our next question. According to the lesson, what do Cirque du Soleil performances focus on? A, animal acts. B, human talent. C, telling stories. Or D, magic tricks. Pauline?
Human talent, B?
Human talent? Well, they are very talented, but that's not the focus of the performance.
Oh.
Yes.
Magic tricks?
Magic tricks is also not the focus. Pauline?
Okay, I think I got it this time. Storytelling?
Yes, the answer is C, telling stories. All right, I think the first question neither of you really got right. The second question, Pauline got that one. Let's see how you do on the final question. According to the lesson, what do the performers do during the show? A, ride elephants. B, sing and dance. C, display strength. Or D, act as clowns. Pauline?
Display strength?
That is correct. The answer is C, display incredible human strength. And that makes you our winner today. Congratulations. How did you do at home? I'm sure you did an excellent job. Thank you for joining us today for the SC Challenge.
Well, what do you think about that idea of taking out clowns and animals from a circus type of show? Well, that's exactly what Cirque du Soleil did. Whatever you think about it, we know that Cirque du Soleil has been very intentional about the types of shows that they put on. Well, what do audiences think about Cirque du Soleil? Let's find out about that next time right here on Studio Classroom.
Will improve today. My name is Carolyn. Have you ever been to the circus? Circuses used to be very popular, but now there aren't many around. Instead, there is a new type of circus that people around the world love to watch. Cirque du Soleil. This circus doesn't feature animal acts, and you won't find any clowns. But what you will find are interesting stories and amazing human strength. Let's learn more about Cirque du Soleil with our first reading for today.
Cirque du Soleil. Audiences love Cirque du Soleil. The company currently performs 6 shows in Las Vegas, and they're traveling shows toward the world. Their shows have been viewed by millions of people. Each one tells a story through colorful visuals, excellent acrobatics, and live music. It's truly a feast for the senses. One Las Vegas show, uses a 1.5 million gallon pool of water. Swimmers, divers, and acrobats perform in around and above the pool.
Hi everyone, I'm Michelle. Welcome to today's language lab. 首先我们看的是 visual 这个名词 ，vis 这个字跟有看的意思，所以 visual 是指图像、图画或者是视觉呈现，常常是用复数形。例如 ，The visuals of the concert are very artistic。这场音乐会的视觉呈现非常具有艺术性。或者是 Sometimes too many visuals can distract people from hearing what you're expressing。有时候太多的图像会让别人对于你正在表达的事物无法专注。Visual 也可以当形容词，意思是指视觉的。例如 ，The visual effects of the water show are astounding。这场水舞的视觉效果令人惊艳。接下来我们看 feast for the senses 这个成语。Feast 是指盛宴或大餐 ，sense 是指感官，所以 feast for the senses 是指感官上的享受或盛宴。例如 ，The magic show is a feast for the senses that you can't forget。这个魔术秀是让人难以忘怀的感官飨宴。Feast 也可以用在个别的感官上，例如 This animation is a feast for the eyes。这部动画片是视觉的飨宴，或者是 Each of Yo-Yo Ma's performances was a feast for the ears。马友友的每场表演都是听觉的盛宴。
Thank you so much, Michelle. Well, friends, we're learning more about Cirque du Soleil today, so let's get reading. Our lesson says, audiences love Cirque du Soleil. And I think that's very true. A lot of people really enjoy their performances. I was reading about Cirque du Soleil, and I read that one person has been to see one of their shows, just one, more than 60 times.
Are you kidding me? 60 times? So, I mean, Cirque du Soleil has a number of shows. They've been around since 1984. And one person just loves that one show so much.
Yes. And it is actually the show we're going to talk about in our lesson today.
Oh?
Oh, exactly. Well, we read in our lesson, the company currently performs 6 shows in Las Vegas, and their traveling shows tour the world. So they have permanent shows that you can see all year round in Las Vegas, but they also have traveling shows that tour.
Yeah, you're right. And, you know, they have come out here before, this direction anyway, to Asia. And I remember looking at the ticket prices and thinking, who has enough money to go to see one of their shows? I assume it would probably be cheaper just to see it in Las Vegas, right?
I'm sure, but then you do have the cost of the plane ticket and the hotel and all of that. So probably in the long run, it's cheaper to see their show when they're traveling.
Yeah, perhaps. Well, friends, yes, I would assume it is worth it. Actually, from what I've heard from everybody who has been to see Cirque du Soleil, it is definitely worth it. Even just seeing some of the video clips online is really cool. Just imagine being there in person. So, Carolyn, have you ever seen a touring show before, whether it's a circus or a band or something else, you know, live?
Sure, yeah, I did go to the circus when I was very, very little. I don't really remember it, but I've seen bands who were touring. I've been to lots of different things because I love performances.
Well, I do too. And friends, we've been using this word tour here a lot. All right, we read in our lesson, it's traveling shows tour the world. Here it's used as a noun, right? This is to journey somewhere as performers. With the idea of giving a performance for different people in different places.
Right, and you can use this word in several different ways. For example, you can say that their shows tour the world, or the band is currently touring Asia, or the band is going on tour.
Now, on tour, remember you have to use the word on there when you're talking about it like this. The band is going on tour. That means they're taking the show on the road. They're going around to different places with the show.
Exactly. Well, we continue reading in our lesson. Their shows have been viewed by millions of people, and each one tells a story through colorful visuals, excellent acrobatics, and live music. And they really do tell an interesting story with all of these things put together.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, so there's colorful visuals. That means colorful things that you can see. Excellent acrobatics, people doing things up in the air. And live music. Okay, Carolyn, I think it would be fun to join Cirque du Soleil and be one of the drummers in the live band, right? Because I can't do any acrobatics. I don't know anything else.
Well,
But that would be
you would
fun.
have to be a very skilled drummer because it is a live performance, and that means you need to make sure you're paying attention to the conductor and what's happening around you so that the music matches the movements of the actors perfectly.
Yeah, I imagine everyone in this business has top-notch skills. They are the best of the best.
Well, we read here that all of these things combined, it's truly a feast for the senses. So the excellent visuals and the acrobatics and the music, it's just so amazing for all of your senses.
So not just your eyes, right? That's
Sure.
one sense. So obviously the sound as well. Perhaps even sometimes I've heard of some shows that do something for your nose. as in-
Sure, you might go to something that's in 4D,
Yeah.
like a movie in 4D, and there might be smells or your chair might move or something like that. That could also be a feast for the senses.
Exactly. Okay, so those are just different examples of what it means to be a feast for the senses, all of the senses. One Las Vegas show, O, uses a 1.5 million gallon pool of water. That is intense. And friends, let's take a look at that word gallon. In the United States, this is the system they use, okay? When talking about water, the measurement is gallons, okay, 加仑. And that is 3.78 liters, about.
Yeah, so you can buy lots of things in gallons. If you go to the store and you want to buy some milk, you can buy a gallon of milk or a half gallon of milk. And I remember my grandfather always drank tea by the gallon.
What?
He would have gallon jugs of tea in the refrigerator, and he would maybe drink a whole jug in a day.
That is, wow, what an interesting, you said grandfather? Or uncle?
Grandfather.
Grandfather. That's great. Well, tea is good for you. Okay, friends. Right. This is a 1.5 million gallon pool of water. Swimmers, divers, and acrobats perform in, around, and above the pool. Well, right now, it's time for us to get down to brass tacks and go to
The Info Cloud.
Welcome to InfoCloud, friends. I don't want to waste any time getting into our subject, so let's get down to brass tacks.
Wow, Joe, you really didn't waste time. That's our phrase for today. Get down to brass tacks.
When we talk about getting down to brass tacks, we want to get into the essentials of a topic. Brass tacks stand for the basic facts regarding a situation.
So, for example, when discussing making a purchase, someone may say, let's get down to brass tacks. How much will this cost me?
The earliest known use of this phrase can be found in an article from a Texas newspaper in 1863.
Some people believe the phrase comes from funeral practices. Flags or emblems were fixed on top of a coffin by brass tacks.
Although many are sure that the phrase comes from American English, any description of its origin is simply a guess.
Despite its unclear origins, the phrase has seemed to always refer to the most basic or important aspect of a thing.
So, when a meeting about a project starts to slow down because of too many details or opinions, it may be best to ask everyone to get down to brass tacks.
今天介绍的这个用语相当有意思 ，get down to brass tacks， 意思就是开始讨论一件事情的基本资讯，或是比较具体的细节。Brass tacks 原本是棺材上所使用的黄铜做的钉子 ，get down to brass tacks 就用来表达开始谈一些真正的细节吧，其他的都别说了。比方说，如果你在谈一笔交易，可能会听到有人说 let's get down to brass tacks. How much does it cost? 我们来谈谈实际的吧，这个东西到底多少钱？虽然这个用语的来源不明 ，get down to brass tacks 一向是指一样的东西最基本或最重要的细节。这就是今天的 Info Cloud， 我们下次再见。
Studio Classroom is on the air.
Welcome back to Studio Classroom, friends. Today our lesson is about Cirque du Soleil, a very different kind of circus. They travel around the world performing incredible acrobatic shows that are a feast for the senses. They are amazing shows that are so different from traditional circuses. Of course, they also have permanent shows like O in Las Vegas that uses a 1.5 million gallon pool of water. What else goes into making these incredible shows? Let's find out.
Cirque du Soleil. A lot of work goes into producing a Cirque du Soleil show. Each one takes several years to develop. First, the company chooses a theme and creates a story. Professionals carefully detail every set, each costume piece and visual element. The company searches all over the world for performers with great talent. Performers do routines involving many difficult stunts, which take months of preparation. Original music is usually composed for each show. The music goes along perfectly with the performers' movements. When the show is ready, the doors open, and audiences can enjoy a wonderful performance.
Alright， 继续我们看 preparation 这个名词 ，P-A-R 这个字根有预备或安置的意思，所以 preparation 是指预备或者是准备的过程，是当不可数名词。例如 ，the preparation of the award ceremony was a huge project which lasted several weeks。这场持续数周的颁奖典礼的预备工作是一项大工程。Preparation 也可以指准备的事项，这时候它就是可数名词，常常用复数型。例如 ，the couple has been busy with wedding preparations for over 6 months。这对新人为婚礼筹办事项已经忙碌了半年多。它的动词就是 prepare，P-R-E-P-A-R-E。例如 ，Melanie spent the entire afternoon preparing for the party。Melanie 花了整个下午的时间预备派对。最后我们看的是 compose 这个动词 ，P-O-S 这个字根有放置的意思，所以 compose 是指作曲、创作音乐或者是写作，特别是诗词。例如 ，the poem was composed by a French poet。这首诗是由一位法国诗人所写的。或者是 this musical genius composed a symphony when he was only 10。这位音乐天才才10岁的时候就创作了一首交响乐。它的名词是 composition， 意思就是音乐作品。例如 The Magic Flute is one of Mozart's most famous compositions。魔笛是莫扎特最有名的音乐作品之一。另外一个相关的名词是 composer， 意思是作曲家。例如 Jay Chou is not only a pop king, but also a great composer。周杰伦不仅是流行天王，也是一位很棒的作曲家。And now let's get back to our teachers.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Let's continue reading. We see a lot of work goes into producing a Cirque du Soleil show. Each one takes several years to develop, so they spend a lot of time making these shows.
Oh, I'm not surprised. You know, a lot of even Broadway shows, it'll take several months to put the show together, and that's with really professional actors. And you might think several months is a kind of a short amount of time, or a long amount of time, but a couple years to put together Cirque du Soleil, I mean, This must be a really, really incredible show.
Well, this is starting from the very beginning of the process. We see first the company chooses a theme and creates a story. And then what happens, Gabe?
Professionals carefully detail every set, each costume piece and visual element. So it's actually a little more like making a movie. I know movies take several years to make, a lot of them anyway, those really high production movies, because there are a lot of details that go into making a movie. You see the word detail here as a verb, okay? This is to think of all the details or to work on all of the details.
And this can be used to just express that, like, maybe something is very special. It has a lot of different pieces, and you're going to make sure each piece is unique. It's very detailed, but you can have other things detailed, not just costumes. For example, she is having her car detailed this weekend. That means that someone is going to pay a lot of careful attention to each piece of her car and make sure it's beautiful.
All right, well, that's an excellent way to use that word as a verb. And of course, people are paying attention to all the details in this show. We read on the company searches all over the world for performers with great talent. So they're not just looking in Las Vegas, they're looking all over the place.
That's right, and we see that performers do routines involving many difficult stunts, and which take months of preparation. So it's not just making the story, it's also getting the performers ready. And there are some things we should look at in this sentence.
Okay, first is the word routine. Someone's routine. That's something that you do over and over again. It's a sequence of actions that is followed regularly. So these performers will have a very specific routine.
Right. For example, the dancers practiced their routine for hours every day.
That's right. And we see another word here in this sentence, and that is at the end of or before the comma, and that is the word stunt. Okay, someone is doing a stunt. That's an exciting action that is dangerous, or at least it appears dangerous, and it needs to be done by someone very skilled.
Right. Usually for movies, actors will have stunt doubles. That means someone who does all of those dangerous action scenes for them, but there are some actors who do their own stunts.
Right. Jackie Chan is one that comes to mind. There are several others as well. Tom Cruise likes to do his own stunts as well. They perhaps are stunt men. Well, we continue here. Original music is usually composed for each show. The music goes along perfectly with the performer's movements. So you're right, Carolyn. Everything has to be perfect.
That's right. It's all about perfection, and we see when the show is ready, the doors open, and audiences can enjoy a wonderful performance. And Gabe, I think we should enjoy a wonderful performance.
Yeah?
With a review skit.
All right.
I love the circus. It's the greatest show on earth.
Yes, I can't wait to see all the amazing acts.
Especially the elephants. I love the elephants.
Actually, there are no elephants.
What? No elephants?
No elephants, no lions, no monkeys, no animals.
No fun. The circus always has animal acts.
Traditionally, yes. However,
the circus travels around and puts on big shows and draws big crowds.
Traditionally, yes. However, audiences have changed, and now a new kind of circus has captured people's attention.
New kind of circus? What are you talking about?
Cirque du Soleil, a circus group from Montreal, Canada. It has reimagined circuses for modern audiences.
Reimagined circuses?
Yes! Unlike typical circuses, Cirque du Soleil focuses on telling stories.
Ah, telling stories. Oh, with clowns.
No! The company eliminated clowns and over-the-top acrobatic acts.
What? No clowns? No over-the-top acrobats?
No. Instead, performers take on character roles in a story.
So it's a kind of like a play or a musical?
No, it's more like just watch and see, okay?
What if I don't like it?
Hey, audiences love Cirque du Soleil. The changes have brought popularity and success.
Really?
Yes, the company performs around the world. Each show is a feast for the senses, colorful visuals, excellent acrobatics, and live music that tells a story.
Okay, tell me more.
The shows take years to develop. They search all over for talent. They compose original music and put on a wonderful show. You're going to love it.
I hope so. Well, I hope they have popcorn. They've got to have popcorn. I mean...
Friends, after reading our lesson today, are you excited to go see a Cirque du Soleil show? I know I am. It sounds amazing the way they detail every piece of the set, all of the costumes, the stunts, the acrobats, the routines, the music. It sounds like quite the feast for the senses. Be sure to talk about this lesson in English with your friends